It's not a secret that competition in e-commerce is more fierce now than ever before, and in order to succeed, you have to differentiate from everyone else, and this is where I can help you. If you're dying for a competitive edge that will set you apart, be highly profitable, and allowing you not to compete with AliExpress dropshippers, I introduce to you Shopify Personalization. You see, I have built many successful personalization stores that have generated me well over 6 figures in sales. I've also helped many people escape their 9-to-5 jobs, and I've even been on The View with my personalization stores. Now, in this course, we will explicitly go behind the scenes and take every step of the process to get your own personalization store up and running. From choosing the product to actually building a live store in front of your eyes. And also everything that's needed in the back-end workflow. Everything made super simple and beginner friendly. I even go as far as showing you my best personalization products, and I will even give you my own personalization pre-built theme templates so that you can get started right away. Now, of course, there is a lot of free materials on the internet where most of the people are just repeating outdated strategies that will really get you nowhere. But when it comes to personalization, then believe me that the information you will find inside of this course is nowhere to be found on the internet. Now, this course is divided into 2 methodical sections, which both have proven to be super untapped. One of them is personalization that we just talked about, and the other one is one country dropshipping, which is more of a side quest inside of this course, but it definitely gives you a huge edge over your competitors. So not only will you learn how to create a successful Shopify personalization store, but you will also learn everything about the new and untapped way of one country dropshipping. And I hope to see you inside. Welcome to Personalization Mastery. I am really happy to see you inside. Now, chances are you probably have heard of dropshipping, what it is and how it works, but nevertheless, I would like to give you a super simple explanation of what type of dropshipping will we be focusing in this course. The word dropshipping means that you are selling a product that you yourself do not hold the inventory of. And when we look at dropshipping as a whole, then it's basically just an order fulfillment method where you sell a product on your website, and if someone decides to buy it, then you ship the product directly to the customer from whichever supplier you decide to choose. So you never even have to touch the product yourself. Now, dropshipping also has many so-called departments, and in my opinion, the most overly saturated department of dropshipping is the AliExpress dropshipping. But in this course, we will dive headfirst into print-on-demand personalization, which is also one of the departments inside of dropshipping, which I believe to be the best way to merge yourself into this competitive space, whether you're a complete beginner who is starting from scratch or you are already an experienced dropshipper. These strategies that we are going to cover in this course will not fail you. Now, Shopify print-on-demand personalization means that we will be building an e-commerce website using Shopify platform to sell our products, and using print-on-demand companies such as Printify, Guten or Printful to fulfill these orders.
We print t-shirts, hoodies, fleece, and it all starts with the customer placing the order.
But the catch is that people can personalize these products by adding their own touch to it. So, for example, Pop Socks. They have a website that's built around selling customizable pet products that has your own pet's face on it. They're selling these socks for $25, and if someone orders it now, all they have to do is A, find the designer who will design this sock using the information that the customer left behind once he placed the order, and B, they have to find the print-on-demand supplier who will fulfill this order, and then they have to upload the designed finished file onto the sock, and lastly, all they have to do is enter the customer shipping details, so the print-on-demand company will send out the sock straight to the customer's address, so you never even have to touch the product. But if we want to keep the profit margins even higher, then we can go even as far as fulfilling these orders ourselves, which we will get into a little bit later. But again, thank you for joining this course, and please take action. Now that you have a rough idea of what Shopify personalization is, let's talk about how and why it works so well. You see, personalized products are known to create a strong emotional bond with the customer, as these products can be tailored to reflect memories, relationships, or even people. This emotional bond will deepen the customer's connection with the product and therefore highly increase their chances of impulse purchasing. Do you remember back in the days this Coca-Cola campaign where they had different names written on each and every bottle? This was a very planned out strategic personalization move by Coca-Cola, which immediately skyrocketed their sales. Now let's say you go to a supermarket and you want to buy a Coca-Cola. You see two different Coca-Colas in front of you. One is just an ordinary red Coca-Cola bottle and the other one has your name on it. Which one would you choose? And the same goes to other products. So let's take, for example, these socks that we just talked about. So if you had two pairs of socks in front of you, one that's just a plain white pair of socks, or a nicely designed sock that has your pet face on it, who maybe passed away a few years ago. You see, people love themselves. And it's true. People like having their name called out, and even on group photos. Who will you be looking for first? Of course yourself. And even if you look around yourself, you can quickly realize that you are absolutely surrounded by personalization. Netflix. Hello Kevin, here are some movies personalized just for you based on the previous movies that you have watched with us. And then there's YouTube, Spotify, and the list goes on and on. And if we go even deeper into the rabbit hole, then there's actually a hormone called dopamine, which is responsible for us liking these personalized products. This hormone called dopamine is chemically released in our brains when we see something, we eat something, or we touch something that we really like. So when people see a product they really like, dopamine is released. When people see a product they really like and they can even personalize it themselves, even more dopamine is released, which often leads to impulse purchases.
Even the simplest items mean more when they are customized. So
one-to-one, human-to-human personalization scalably.
This company right here can customize any item with your pet's personality.
And this is the secret weapon that is going to differentiate us from the basic AliExpress dropshippers. Now, selling personalized products does give you a huge competitive edge over your competitors, but there's something that magnifies the edge even further. And it's called one country dropshipping, where there is literally zero competition. Let me explain. So let's say you're from Sweden and you want to sell these custom pet portraits. You did your product research, validated that the product is high in demand, and you proceed to build out the store. Stop. Now, instead of building the store in English language with a .com domain, you want to build out the store fully in Swedish language. And ultimately, when it comes to marketing, you want to target only the Sweden country. Because if you try to sell these custom pet portraits to a larger market, let's say USA, then you are competing against hundreds of already established stores who have a lot of money to push into advertising. And therefore, your chances of succeeding are super low. Now, instead of going to this super competitive market, we are going to choose one specific country in an Europe region that has literally zero competition. We will then create a store around this product fully in this country's native language. But there actually is one exception. If you find a unique product that really no one isn't selling and you believe that it has a lot of potential, only then would I recommend you to target these bigger countries. Otherwise, stick to the smaller countries and scale from there. Now, if you are from the USA and you speak only English language, then do not worry. I also got you covered, as further on in this course, I will show you exactly how you can find people who will translate your store to any given language. So what kind of personalization products actually sell, and how do you know that this specific product is a winning personalization product? Now, product research can easily be overcomplicated. Let me make it super simple for you. The main research tools we need for our product research is A, Etsy, B, TikTok, and C, some AI tools. But mainly it's just Etsy, because Etsy specializes in selling personalized products. And we can pretty much say that it's the AliExpress for personalization products. Inside of Etsy, you can find thousands of super trendy personalization products, but do keep a Word document open while doing the research, just to note down the products that you'd like to sell. Which leads us to another question. How do I know what kind of products to sell? Well, first of all, you need to do a lot of keyword surfing. Search for phrases like personalized gifts, personalized jewelry, personalized photos, and each time you prompt a search, filter the results by top customer reviews. This way, you will be shown products that have high amount of reviews, which also means they are high in demand. And that's pretty much the main factor that you want to look out for when choosing a product. It just wouldn't make sense for me to choose a product that has like 0 reviews and then try to build a website out of it. Instead, what we want to do is we want to take a product that's already doing good inside of the Etsy platform. They have a lot of reviews, they have a lot of comments. We take the exact same product and build a store around it. After you have spent some time in Etsy, clicked on few products, then at the bottom of the website is a section called You May Also Like, which shows you products similar to the ones that you have already clicked on. And I really want you to create a list of 5 potential products that A is high in demand and B you feel passionate about this niche. The next product research method that we're going to use is associated with TikTok. So what you want to do is you want to head over to TikTok and keyword search different variations of phrases like personalized products, personalized gifts, and you'll see a ton of different products with people's reactions to them. Now the key here again is to look for a product that has a lot of engagement. And you can even filter the results by like count and date posted to make things easier for yourself. Lastly, with the uprise of AI, the product research has gone way easier than it was before. There are a lot of AI tools that show you exactly what kind of products are trending and hot at the moment. The platform that I personally use for my product research is called SellerCount, mainly because they have a lot of winning personalization products listed and it's super easy to use. Once you have created your account, the best way to find winning personalization products is to head over to Ad Library, which is also directly connected to Facebook Ad Library, and it will show you what products are being advertised on Facebook, their target countries, ad spend, and a lot more. From here, we can go ahead and keyword search phrases like personalized, and this will show us all of the advertisements that use this specific word in their ads. And we can even go as far as sorting the results by ad spend. This will show us the products that are spending the most on advertising. For example, I found this cool product right here and I can see the exact store who is selling this product just by clicking on the store product page section. We can also head over to TikTok ads and keyword search the same phrases, and now we can see personalized products that are being advertised on TikTok. Now you can go ahead and try this amazing software out completely free for 7 days. Now do spend some time and write down at least 5 to 10 potential products that you'd like to sell based on the product research method that we just talked about. So now that you know where and how to actually find winning personalization products, let's finally get into some products that I have sold in the past to help you fully understand the process. But I do not recommend you to just blindly follow my footsteps. Although some people have done it pretty successfully, I would like you to just take some inspiration from me. As you might have seen from my YouTube videos, I have done really well with the home decor or art niche. And if we look at the bigger picture, then there are many niches to go for, right? Jewelry, pet accessories, clothes, home decor, and the list goes on and on. But I personally have found that selling art has huge profit margins. It's also good for gift-giving occasions, and it really does create a sentimental value for the customer. Before my big success in 2021, I didn't really know what I was doing. I tried selling random gym clothes, gym accessories, even t-shirts, but they all failed because of my lack of knowledge, and the products that I was trying to sell didn't really bring any value to the customer. Ever since then, I started to look for products that were already high in demand instead of trying to sell products which I personally thought were cool. My first big success in 2021 was selling these yellow character portraits, and it's really a good story on how I found the product. So I was just scrolling on my Facebook feed and I saw this advertisement from a company called Turned Yellow. Huge amount of engagement on the ad, and that's when it connected for me. To see exactly how good were they doing, I went even as far as making an order on their website, and after some calculations, the sales were over $1 million. Now just for a second, imagine if you could make 10% of that, which comes to $100,000, and that's the number that I have surpassed with my own yellow character store. So the main takeaway here is that I didn't try to go and compete with Turned Yellow. Instead, I took the same idea, the same product, and brought it over to my home country, built a Shopify website in Estonian language, and boom, immediately started pulling sales with this store. Because I knew that this product was doing super well in bigger market, and it was really my first time seeing this ad, but it turned out that the company has been out there for longer than 2 years. I've also done really well with these custom pet portraits. Again, the process was pretty much the same. And I have helped many of my students inside of my coaching program build out the same pet portrait store in their own home country. Then you probably have seen these African greeting videos. I mean, they are going super viral these days. One of my students actually saw that this product was doing super well in bigger countries, so he just took the exact same idea of the African greetings, brought it over to Estonian country, and immediate success again. I know people who have done really well with custom jewelry, for example these custom name necklaces that you can write your own name on it, and also metal art is one of the niches that is super underrated, and I highly recommend you to get to know this niche. Okay, so now that you have a list of at least 5 potential products that you'd like to sell, it's time to choose a target country. Before that, let me quickly explain again why we need to target only one country. You see, once you found a product that you'd like to sell, our next step would be to go over to Google and keyword search for competitors who are already selling this product. And trust me, pretty much any personalization product that you will find using these research methods are being sold by bigger brands and companies who have already established themselves on the market. Usually, they are companies that have built their store in English language with a .com domain. And we do not want to dive into this highly competitive market. You will just burn your money on ads trying to outcompete the guys who have been out there for years and they have built a very strong brand around their product. Also, they have like huge ad budgets to spend, so if you go out there and try to weigh with your $100 bill on the advertising, then it's just not going to work out because they are spending tens of thousands of dollars even daily on ads. Sure, there are some exceptions where you can take a product, innovate it a little bit, add your own touch to it, or do something that someone has never done before, but it's really a path that I wouldn't recommend you to take unless you have a huge ad budget to play around with. Otherwise, let's keep it simple and let's not reinvent the wheel. So to recap, all we have to do is find a trending product that's selling good in bigger countries, take the exact same product and bring it over to smaller countries. This way we can sell a product that we know is high in demand and is working in bigger country, but people in smaller countries haven't even seen the product yet. So it's like 100% guaranteed that it will work in smaller countries because it already works in bigger countries. Now, if we create a store specifically in the country's native language, we can build a higher trust and it makes the customer feel like the product is made in their home country. So first things first, how do you choose a country to target? Well, the first step would be to look around yourself. I personally, example, live in Europe in a small country called Estonia, which also has its own native language. So my ideal path would be to take Estonia as my target country. If you live in Norway, take Norway. If you live in Poland, take Poland. Now, if you live in the United States and you only speak English language, then please listen to the end of this module where I will show you exactly how you can choose a target country. So, if you potentially have your target country, our next step would be to open up our product list, which we just created in the previous lesson, head over to Google and start keyword searching these products in your native language. And why we are doing this is because we want to find out if someone is already selling this product in our home country. And just by keyword surfing the product phrases in your native language, it should easily give us some stores. If not, then well, it's just a green flag for us, which means no one is selling this product. And it's go time. But what if I find some stores that are already selling a product I chose? Well, then we have two options. Option number one, if the stores are big, they look good, they are well branded and a lot of social media engagement, by all means, stay away from this product. It means it's really hard for you to go out there and try to compete with this already established brand. On the other hand, if there's only like 1 or 2 stores and they are new ones or don't look appealing at all, then there is a chance that we can outcompete them. But in my opinion, the best way to get started is to have no competition at all. So you just want to rinse and repeat this competition research method until you find a product that has not been sold in your country and proceed with that. Now, if you are from the United States or Canada and only speak English, then yes, it's going to be a little harder for you, but nothing crazy. So the first step would be again to look around yourself. Maybe you have some kind of relatives who speak some kind of other language than English. If yes, try to communicate with them and maybe you can work out some kind of a deal. But if not, then the process would be as follows. You have to choose your country yourself, preferably some country in the Europe, and start keyword searching these product phrases in the country's language you chose. So for example, if you choose Germany as your target country, then head over to Google Translate or ChatGPT and have your product name translated into German language. Then just head over to Google and keyword search the phrase that you just got from the translation process, and from there on everything is the same. Now yes, eventually you would need someone besides you who really speaks German language, but we will get into that later on. Now before we fully cement this module, let me give you some example stores. In Germany we have machmichgelb.de, a yellow character store built only for German audience. Sweden, we have Hastdjursportrat.se, a store selling all different kinds of pet portraits. In Italy, we have Ciociapura.it, selling custom jewelry, and all of these stores are very successful, and they have just implemented the exact same strategy that we just talked about. So now before we dive headfirst into choosing our product live and creating our website in front of your eyes, I want to clarify a few different websites that we can go for. So when it comes to selling personalized products or even AliExpress products, then there are 3 different types of stores that we can start. And let's go over them one by one. So firstly, you have a general store, then you have a niche store, and you have a one product store. General store means that you're selling all kinds of different products from various niches, from clothes, jewelry, to even home garden items, just about everything that comes to your mind. And a good example of such personalization store is called yoursurprise.eu. They're selling pretty much all of the personalized items that you can think of, and this website has been around for a long time. Now, would I recommend you to go for a general store? Absolutely not. Because you see, these kinds of stores were very popular like 5 years ago, where you could just take like any kind of product, throw it over to the website, and it immediately started pulling sales. In today's day and age, you really have to think more about your branding, build out a very good website, and have all of these products thoughtfully brought over to your website. And also, it's really difficult to build out a store that has like thousands of products, which all can be personalized by your customer. Sure, there are stores that are doing really well with general stores, but personally, I wouldn't recommend to go for it, especially when you're starting out. Next thing, we have a niche store, which is basically a store created around one niche only. So for example, you can create a niche store selling custom pet products. And a great example of it is called mypetsis.com. A lot of trending products that customers themselves can personalize. This website is really clean and well built, and I don't even doubt that they're pulling high numbers. Another great example is sofeel.com. A store selling custom jewelry and accessories. Great website and a lot of trendy products. And there are a lot of pros when it comes to creating a niche store. You can test different products on your store, you can actually create a very trustworthy brand around your store, and you can target one specific demographic with your store. And lastly, we have one product store, which I highly recommend you to start. One product store means that you will be building a website around only one product. This will help you easily create a very strong brand around your product. You can create super trustworthy websites with high conversion rate, but the only downside of starting a one product store that it can be really unmotivating if the store doesn't work out. So then you'd have to just start the whole process again, find a product, create a new website, and so on and so forth. Now again, some very good examples of highly profitable one product stores are as follows. westandwillow.com. They are selling these pet portraits with some different upsells. The Night Sky, a store that's selling these custom star maps of the night you had memorable occasion or turned yellow, which I think needs no further explanation. Now in this course, we will build out a one product store, but the steps we take also apply to creating a niche store. Okay, so now that we have a product and a country to target, it's time to move on to building out the store. The product I chose for this course is this personalized hoodie that has this cool line drawing applied onto the hoodie. The reason I chose this specific product is because A, it had huge engagement on TikTok, and B, because I also want to show you the process of how to handle a product that has art included. So there are a few extra steps that we need to take when art is included, but nothing crazy. But before we dive into Shopify, we have to have a name for our store, right? So you can take inspiration from other competitor stores or come up with something on your own, and I believe this shouldn't take a lot of time. And once you have chosen your potential name, the next step we need to do is actually check if a domain is available for that name. And remember, you had to create the name in your own country's native language. You can purchase your domain from various vendors, all of them work the same, but personally I like to use GoDaddy. And specifically in Estonia, we have something called Veebimajutus, which is a place where I personally purchase all of my domains. So yeah, go ahead and type in your domain name. If it's available, go ahead and purchase it. Now also do keep in mind that the domain name has to be relevant for your country. So for example, I live in Estonia, then the ending of the domain has to be .ee. And now once that's done, our next logical move would be to create a logo for our store. Creating a logo can easily be super overcomplicated. Let me make it super simple for you. The only tool that we need is called Canva. Inside of Canva, let's go ahead and create a logo. Now Canva also offers a wide range of templates that you can use, but I recommend keeping it very simple and minimalistic. Again, you can take inspiration from your competitors when it comes to creating the logo, and try to not overcomplicate it. And these few things were really the things that I wanted to cover before we dive headfirst into Shopify. So once you have your name done, logo created, and domain available, I will see you inside of Shopify. Now let's move on to the fun part of actually building out the Shopify store. But firstly, you have to sign up with Shopify. And I actually have partnered up with them to get you the best deal possible. If you sign up using my link, you will get a free trial and your first month for €1. And then you can earn 1% for every sale as credits to use on your Shopify subscription. Okay, from here just answer these questions. It really doesn't matter what you choose. And once you have made it to the home screen, the first thing we want to do is remove password. And if you already didn't before, then you have to pick a plan for your store. Basic plan is more than enough when starting out, so go ahead and select basic plan. Enter your payment details and do not worry, you will not be charged anything when starting out. So once you have finished with the purchase, you want to go ahead and remove the password of your store. This allows us to start customizing the theme. But before we dive headfirst into theme customization, let's go ahead and add the actual product to our store. The product I chose for this course is this personalized line art hoodie. All you have to do is upload your photo and they will have an artist draw out this line art style image, which then will be applied onto this hoodie. This store right here, Custom My Love, is one of the biggest players selling this product. And if we head over to Shophunter, which is an AI tool that can show you the estimated revenue of any Shopify store, we can see that they are doing 50k per month in sales with this product. Now here's the question, right? How can we get this product into our store? And this is where print on demand comes to play. So let's head back over to Shopify store and we want to open up Shopify App Store. Go ahead and search for Printify and install the application. Now you have to go ahead and create an account with them, so click sign up. Once you're inside of Printify, you can go ahead and connect it with your Shopify store. Now go ahead and enter your store's URL, click install, and now we have Printify successfully connected to our Shopify store. Now you have thousands of products you can add to your store, which can later be personalized by the customer. But we are looking for a hoodie, so let's click on hoodies, view all hoodies, and here you have a lot of examples you can choose from. Let's go ahead and choose their bestseller, and as you can see, you have a lot of Printify factories you can work with, but I recommend to choose the one with the highest review. In this case, it will be Print Logistic, which is located in Poland. Go ahead and click Start Designing, and here you can upload the actual line art onto your hoodie. Now you might be wondering, where can I get this image? Well, you can go ahead and make an order on Fiverr, or the easiest way is to go to Google search and search for a line art drawing and just download the image. Now let's go ahead and upload the image onto the hoodie, and from here you can also choose the color variants and sizes you want to offer in your store. Right now for this example I will choose just 3 colors for this product and publish it to the store. Now, since every order has to be manually fulfilled, meaning you have to add a new design onto every hoodie that you sell, you have to have these orders waiting for your customization. To enable this feature, head over to Store Settings and under Order Approval, choose Manual. This means all of the incoming orders will be pending and waiting for your customization. Once you have the product imported to your store, go ahead and open it up and start playing around with the title and description. Here you can use the help of ChatGPT to help you generate a minimalistic and professional description for your product. One key thing here again is not to reinvent the wheel. Look at the biggest competitor. How are they organizing their product description, and use it as a guide on creating yours. The same applies with pricing. You give your product a pretty similar price compared to your biggest competitor. Now, once you have the product in your store, go ahead and choose a theme. There are many themes to choose from, but I personally like using Scents. Now, I also do have many paid themes installed, and if you'd like to have free access to them, just message me on Instagram and I will give you some of the best paid themes for completely free. Okay, so our next step now is to build out our product page, because this is the page where all of the traffic that you drive from Facebook will come to. And the first thing you want to do is you want to open up your competitor store. So in this case, we have this custom My Love, and try to take a lot of inspiration when it comes to the design aspect of your store. I'm not saying that you should copy paste everything that they have, but just take a lot of inspiration and try to add your own touch to it. So yeah, first thing I actually like to do is I like to head over to theme settings, and I like to play around with the color schemes a little bit. So this product is like a love product, so what I would do in this case is I would add a lot of pink colors to the color scheme. So yeah, let's go ahead and start designing it. So here you have different kinds of schemes that you can design. Just click on one of these schemes and yeah, start to play around with it a little bit. So already after playing around with the color schemes a little bit, you can see that the store has a completely different look. And by the way, you always want to edit your product page while being on the mobile view, because all of these potential customers that will come to your website, like 90% of the time they will be using a mobile, so you always want to optimize for mobile. Now a few things that we can remove from here is this My Store thing. We do not need to show that particular part of the text, so let's remove it. So what else? We definitely do not need the share thing right here, so let's hide that as well. And if you click on the variant picker that we have right here, you can choose if you want to use pills or a drop-down. I prefer to use drop-down with this product. So let's switch over to drop-down. We have the quantity, we can leave that. Now one more thing that I usually do in the product page is I head over to the buy buttons and I remove the show dynamic checkout buttons. So this will leave us only the add to cart button. And as you can see, the store is looking pretty nice already. There are a lot of things we need to do more, but yeah, the store is starting to take shape already. So the next thing we want to play around with is back again to theme settings, and we want to play around with typography. This is the font of your store. So again, try to play around with these fonts and see what fits with your store's vibe. And after playing around with the fonts a little bit, I decided to go with the AraPay and ASAP font. And when it comes to the functionality of the store, let's try to change the color of the hoodie. And as you can see, the color changes. But right now, if I choose the white variant, I can see that it blends in with the background. So let me quickly try to edit the background of this product page. So now it doesn't blend in so much, and in my opinion the background looks better than the white one. And now if we look at both of these variants, if we had the white one at first, I think it looks like better, so I want this to project to our customers when they come to our product page. So let's go ahead and change that. So quickly let's go back to products. You can actually drag the white one to the very first option, and then instead of showing the carbon gray one first, it will show the white one. So let's go ahead and click save. And while we are here, let's change a few more things. So for example, the option name, it's right now color, but we have to change it to our home country's language, which is, in my case, Värv. The next thing we want to change is the size. Again, change it to your home country's language. In my case, it's Suurus. Okay, hit save. Head back to customizing the theme. And now the white one projects first. And also let's head over to product information, add block, and let's add a collapsible row. And I like to use this collapsible row as like a FAQ that customers can quickly access to. So let's drag this over to over here. And we want to do like 3 collapsible rows with some kind of a frequently asked question. So one might be like sizing, one might be shipping, and one might be like the product material, for example. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's go ahead and remove the check mark. So when it comes to the shipping information that I have just typed here, you need to go over to your supplier, the print on demand company, and see their shipping times to your country. So now we have 3 different collapsible rows, and each of them have their own unique information inside. So do it according to your product. Like right now I have this shipping information, sizing table, and material. But you have to do it according to your product. So the store is already starting to take shape, and our next step now is to import reviews to our store, which also takes us to our next lesson, which is applications. Okay, now let's go ahead and install all of the necessary applications we need in order to successfully run our store. Now there are a lot of applications, but we will try to go through them one by one, and I will actually show you how to set up these applications too. Now in our previous lesson we actually designed our product page, so let me quickly show you that. Let's head over to mobile navigation. But if you are a beginner and you don't have a lot of experience when it comes to the technical side of Shopify design, then there is actually one application that will do all of the designing for you. And this application is called Pagefly, as you can see here. There's also one application called Gem Pages, but for this example, let's use the Pagefly one. And this application allows you to easily create home pages, product pages, and all kinds of pages. And they are already like pre-made templates, so you can just copy them and paste them over to your store. So here we can navigate over to create your first page, start creating pages, create from template. And here you can choose which kind of a page you want to create. So for example, let's head over to product. We want to create a product page. And here you have a lot of different pre-made templates that you can use. You just want to click select and it will automatically import to your store, and you can make changes inside of your store. But right now we're not going to pick any of these because I just wanted to show you that there is an alternative option, that you don't have to do all of the designing aspect yourself. There are applications that will help you significantly. So if you are a beginner, or maybe you want to just make your life easier, then use this application called Pagefly. But you also have to keep in mind that this application is a paid application. Okay, so the next application we want to install to our store is actually called, and this application allows you to import or create reviews to your store. And this application really is a must-have because reviews create a lot of trust in the customers. So you even have a 7-day free trial. Yes, it is a paid application, but it's totally worth it. So firstly, let's go ahead and untick this. We do not need this option. Then let's go ahead and choose the beginner. It's more than enough for us. If you want, you can go with the scale plan, but right now let's go ahead and choose the beginner plan. Here it will just walk you through step by step on how you can actually enable the looks inside of your store. So let's go ahead and enable the looks core script. And as you can see now, it enabled the looks core script in the Dawn theme, the Sense theme that we customized earlier. We haven't published it, so probably we need to go back right now and publish this theme in order for us to actually enable this looks in our store. So let's go back, and here we can enable this looks core script. And again, the looks application will pretty much walk you through step by step. So let's go ahead and add to our store. Once you're on a product page, you want to navigate to add block, apps, and let's go ahead and add the product reviews widget. Here we have it. Click save. This is the rating widget, which I usually do not use, but if you want, you can enable it. Right now, I'm not going to skip it. Here you can choose your store primary language. It doesn't have Estonia. If you have German, you can use German, but right now we are going to use English. Just click continue, 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 continue. So you should have the looks reviews imported to your store. And now what we want to do is we want to manually write these reviews in our own language. So let me show you how to do that. There are actually 2 ways how we can write these reviews. Either we write them with photos or without photos. And usually when I start a new store, I usually aim to write about 50 to 100 reviews just to give a store a trustworthy look. So let me give you an example of how would I do it without the photo. So first of all, click write a review. 5 stars. So here, if you have a photo, you can add the photo, but right now we don't, so we're just going to skip. And here you can write the text that's going to project in the review section. Right now you can head over to ChatGPT, you can head over to competitors' pages, see what other people have written there, and take inspiration and write it in your own language. So one thing to keep in mind when you're entering these names to your reviews is keep in mind the country that you live in. Try to write names that are very relevant in your country. So for example, I live in Estonia. I wouldn't want to write here like James, because this name is not very common in Estonia. You want to write common names that are very popular in your home country. So for example, I can write Hendrik. This is a very popular name in Estonia. The last name really doesn't matter what you write, and also the email really doesn't matter. Just go ahead and smash your thumbs on the keyboard. Click done. Thank you. Review was submitted. Close this. Refresh. And we have already one review done right here. So this is one example how you can write without the photo. Now let me show you how you can get the photos as well. So it does get a little bit sketchy right here. So since we don't have our own product reviews, what we need to do is we need to take them from our competitors. Yes, it's very unethical, but once you start getting your own reviews, then delete the ones that you took from your competitors and replace them with the ones that you got from your own actual customers. So let's go ahead and navigate to our competitor. They also have this review application. This is not Lux Reviews, this is something else, but from here you can go ahead and choose like any of this actually. Let's go ahead and open up this. It came out that this custom my love has some kind of a protection, so I cannot right click it and download the image. This isn't usually the case with most of the stores. You can easily right click and download the image, but right now, since we cannot do that, let's go ahead and just take a screenshot of this photo. So boom, we have a screenshot. Let's go back to our store. Go ahead and write another review, 5 stars. Add photos, and now you want to upload the photo that you just screenshotted or downloaded to your computer. Again, write a review and type in some kind of a name, and see, now you have 2 reviews inside of your store, and you want to rinse and repeat this process until you have like 50 to 100 reviews in total. What I would recommend is to have at least 30 to 40 reviews with photos and like 20-30 without photos. And once you're done with that, you can see that these reviews project the date that this review was written. We do not want to show this particular part to our customers because they can see that all of these reviews have written on the same day. So what we want to do is we want to head over to Lux Reviews again, then navigate to Display Reviews, click Customize on the Product Reviews widget, and right here you can customize the look and feel of your reviews section. And right now we want to hide is also the Write a Review button, which is this. Once you're done writing these reviews, then people cannot go to your website and write a random review, just hide that. We can hide it like always hidden. And review dates, we do not want to show these right now, so let's hide these, and everything else should be okay. And one more thing we want to do once we're finished writing all of these reviews is head back to Manage Reviews, and you want to manually go ahead and add a verified badge to this review. So do not show it again, verify review, and this will show to the potential customers that this is a verified purchase, and this way they feel more trustworthy purchasing from you. You have to do it with all of your reviews. So yeah, add verified badge. Let's see what it looks like now. Yep, it already looks better. So verified, no dates shown, only names, 5 stars, everything is nice. Lux also has like many other options that you can play around with. For example, we have this sidebar. If you want, you can enable it. If you don't want, you can delete this. And if you want, you can just play around and get to know Lux a little bit more. But now let's move on to the next application. So the next thing we need to install to our store is actually the image upload option, because we need to have a photo from our customer in order to draw this kind of line art. So we need to have an image upload option. Let's head to Shopify App Store and search for Upload Kit. This is the application that I have been using with my stores. It's called File Uploads by UploadKit. It's a very nice application. So let's go ahead and install it to our store. So here it will walk you through step by step on how you can actually set up the application. Field name, you want to, instead of upload file, you want to generate it into your own country's language. In my case, it's large file. Click next. And here again, translate all of these English sentences into your own country's language. So let me quickly do that. And here you just play around with it, how the image upload button is going to look like. So go ahead and save. And now it should be live. Now you do want to play around with the color and the font and everything like that to see which color schemes fits the best with your store. So right now, if I look at it, I think the pink is not going to be a good fit. So let's go ahead and yes, so in my opinion, this already looks better. So we're going to leave it like that. And if we click choose picture, the customer can actually upload the photo. And that's that. So one more thing that before we move on to our next application is if you want to have a text box here, so for example, if you're selling these pet portraits and you want a customer to be able to add their pet's name, then you also need to install a separate application for that. Right now with this product, we do not need a text box, but if you need it, then head over App Store and search for text. And for example, this right here, the text box, we can easily use that. If your product requires some kind of text notes or something like that, go ahead and download this application or something similar to that. But our next application is called Essential Countdown. This is very, very important application because it creates a lot of urgency and it will give you higher conversion rates. So definitely install this application to your store. Let's go ahead and create a new timer, and we want the timer to be on our product page. And here you can really customize what you are showing to your customer. So let's quickly start designing it. I will do it in English language, so you can pretty much copy paste it over to your own store in your own country's language. So what we did right here is we are announcing that we have a 50% discount on all orders. Sale ends in 13 hours. This will create a lot of urgency, and trust me, your conversion rates will spike after this. This specific application works really well when it comes to like Q4, Christmas, holidays, everything like that. Then it works like perfectly fine, but outside of these periods also works. So let's go ahead and publish this to our store. Let's activate it. Now again, you can go ahead and play around with the color schemes and everything like that to make it fit into your store. So right now I made it a little bit more pinkier, and yeah, it already looks better than before. The next thing we want to change as well, because we are announcing 50% discount, is we want to actually enable the discount here on the pricing as well. So let's go ahead and navigate back to our product, and here click all of the variants. We can go ahead and click bulk edit. Here you can see the pricing, but you want to head over to this columns section, compare at price. Since we were announcing 50% discount, let's go ahead and type T and change the price to 99, for example. All of the previous prices are now 99. Click save, and as you can see, now it shows that the product price was 99 euros before. Now it's 49 euros. So we have a few more applications to go, and the next one is called Chatra. Chatra is pretty much a live chat box that customers can interact with, chat with, and again, it gives your store a lot of credibility. And here you can start to play around with how the widget is going to look like in your store. So firstly, let's head over to settings, chat widget, and here you can choose the chat palette, how the chat icon is going to look like, what color. You want to match it to your store's vibe. So let's go ahead and choose it like this pinkish color. Tab or round, let's go ahead and use round at the moment. So this is how it's going to look like, or this. I like to use like this right now. And here you can change this text that is going to be checked to your potential customers. Right now it's in English language, but you want to edit this into your own home country's language. So just delete that and write it in your home country's language. And how this application works is right now you can see at the right side at the bottom of my website I have this little icon. If we click here, and so for example, if a potential customer writes some kind of a message, so this message will automatically be sent to you, so you can manually answer this question. Chatra also has like a mobile application that you can install to your phone, so anytime some customer have some kind of quick question they want answer to, this question will come to your phone and you can quickly answer it from there. And the next application that you want to have in your store, if you have multiple products or if you have like an art and you want to upsell a frame poster, is a upsell. And this is really essential to get your average order value up. But since we have only one product in our store right now, I'm not going to install this to our store. And lastly, we want to upload Klaviyo to our store. Klaviyo is an email marketing application which is really easy to use, and it really is essential to your store. So let's go ahead and install it. And what we want to do here is we want to set up some email flows. So let's go ahead and navigate to flows. And here it gives you already example flows that you can integrate to your store. And one of the most important email flow that we want to do is called the abandoned cart email flow. So let's get started. And here it really walks you through step by step on how you can go ahead and set up the email flow. So let's click next. Click next again. And here you can actually edit these emails that will be sent to your customer once they have abandoned their cart. And now you need to create everything in your own country's language. Add the logo here, pretty much delete everything. The only thing that you can leave is this section table right here that you have, and return to cart, which you can also make it in your own language. And what you want to do is you want to offer some kind of a discount now to potentially win them back. So once they have abandoned their cart, they will get this email, they open up the email and they see that they have a discount inside of the email. This will give a very high chance of them actually coming back to your store and purchasing. So what we can do now to actually create this email that we want to send out to our customers is head over to ChatGPT. I typed in create me a highly engaging abandoned cart email flow with the discount code in Estonian language. So now it gave you like huge text that you can use in Klaviyo. So just copy this, head back over to Klaviyo. And now you just want to play around with it a little bit. You do not want to provide a lot of text. So try to keep it simple as possible. So this is how the final product looks like. Yes, you have to add your own logo here and everything like that, but this is pretty much how it should look like. No more text than that. This is more than enough. And if you want, you can also add a picture of your product, but right now let's keep it like that. So click save. And you want to do the exact same thing with the second email that is sent out 2 days after the first email is sent out. If you want, you can add the discount even higher to have a higher chance of the customer actually converting. But usually I keep these emails the same. Only with the slight difference that I usually do is inside of the second email, I include some kind of a different photo that's in the first email. So yeah, this is the most important email that you have to have in place once you are starting out. So let's click review and turn on if you are finished with everything. So inside of the Klaviyo, we actually gave our customers a discount code, which we now have to manually activate as well. So let's head over to discounts, create a discount, and we want to go amount of order. So the percentage was 10. You can do it as high as 15 if you want, and enter the same discount code that you entered inside of the email. And that's pretty much it. This is all of the necessary applications that you need once you are starting out. To play around with the applications a little bit, get to know them, make them optimized for your store, and I will see you in the next lesson. Okay, so now before we move on to advertising, we need to get our ad creatives done. The videos and photos we will be showing to our potential customers. And to get your ad creatives done, there are really two ways to go about it. Either we use the free methods or we use the paid methods. But firstly, let's go over the free ones, because that is how I personally got started as well. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to go to Facebook Ad Library. This is a place where you can see what advertisements other companies are currently running. And now you want to look for the big players that are selling your product. The ad creatives they are using are probably performing well, and we should take inspiration from them. So what you want to do is you want to look at your competitors' ads and you want to recreate a similar version of their video or photo. And when I was starting out, I went as far as just copy pasting my competitors' ad creatives. But obviously when the ad creative has English text on it, then we cannot use it. But the way I went about it is I downloaded the ad creative, went over to Canva and redesigned the whole ad creative. So for example, if it had some English text on it, I would cover up the English text part and add my own Estonian text onto it. But now if we rank the paths that we can take in order to get our ad creative done, then this method is sitting at the very bottom of the echelon. Because yes, you can get into trouble by just copy pasting other people's content. That's basically stealing. So personally, I wouldn't recommend you to blindly follow my footsteps, what I did like a few years ago. I'm just telling you that this is one method that definitely works till today, but it's very risky. The other free, well, somewhat of a free option is to order the product to your house and therefore take videos and images of the ad. And that's basically what I did also once I started getting some momentum to my store. Now, if you decide to go with this option, then once you have ordered the product to your home, then again, try to take a lot of inspiration from the ad creatives that the other big companies are currently running. Because if they are running it at the moment, it means it's performing well, and you just have to take the same idea, take inspiration from it, and just add your own touch to the video. Now, both of these free methods actually require some technical skill when it comes to editing, because later on you have to edit the photo or the video. So, and if you are not the best at editing, then I highly recommend you to go with the paid options. Which also now smoothly takes us to a second path that we can take in terms of getting our ad creatives done, which is the paid options. And in my opinion, this is the fastest and easiest solution as well. One excellent service provider is called Viral.com Ads, and this is the place where I personally get all of my ads done. What they do is they have hired very professional video editors who will search your product up in the web, compile a list of highly engaging videos, and send it over to you. And if you don't like the outcome of the ad creative, you can also ask for free revisions. What I personally love about Viral.com Ads is that you can get your ad creatives done in any kind of language. So for example, if you want to have a German text over your video or your photo, they got you. I personally know the owner of this company, and we have partnered up with this course to get you the best deal possible. So when you go to their website viralycomads.com, you have many different options to choose from. But the best one, if you are just starting out, is split testing video ad package. This means you will get 4 different video variations of your product that you can later on test inside of Facebook Ads Manager. I also highly recommend getting the image ad split testing package as well, so that you can use videos and images when testing the product. Also, you can use these videos and photos later on to post on your social media. So if you want to go with the paid option that we just discussed about, then use the link in the description of this lesson to get your ads done with a juicy discount. Okay, when it comes to advertising, I have found that Facebook ads work the best for me, so this course will be more oriented towards Facebook ads. So first things first, let's go ahead and create a new campaign with the sales objective. Now you always want to choose sales because all of the other objectives will just bring you very low quality traffic that will just not convert. Then Facebook offers you to create an Advantage Plus shopping campaign, which we want to avoid and take manual instead. With a manual campaign, we can set everything in place ourselves and therefore target more specifically. The only thing that you want to change inside of the campaign level is the name of the campaign, nothing else. And you really can name it whatever. Now let's move on to the ad set level, and this is actually where the magic happens. So first things first, our performance goal is maximize the number of conversions. And also you can easily connect the pixel with the steps provided by Facebook. Conversion event will be purchase, and now the next thing we want to do is change the ad budget. Before we move any further, I will quickly explain our plan. So the ad budget determines how aggressively Facebook starts to push out your ads, and since we are just testing out our product, then we will start with a lower budget and move upwards once the ad set starts to perform well. So right now let's change the daily ad spend to 10 euros for this specific ad set. Also, for the starting time of the ad, it's important to change it to the next day's morning. If you keep it the same day, they will go into a review process, and once they are approved by Facebook, they will start running, which means half of the day is already gone. Then Facebook will just aggressively push the whole advertising budget to spend all of the money that you have given to it, which pretty much always causes very bad analytical metrics. So remember, always next day's morning. Now the next step is to choose your target country and the age group. I like to leave the age group really broad when we're testing, so let's keep it as it is. Now we have the targeting part, where it is actually automatically switched to Advantage Plus, but you want to go ahead and click to choose original audience, which allows you to manually target the people you want to show your ads to. And when it comes to choosing the interest that we want to target, then firstly you have to think about your product. Who might buy this product? What would they be interested in? So for example, if you have a pet related product, then you would want to target an interest that is pet related, for example pet food. In our case, we have personalized hoodies, so we want to firstly think what would people search if they would look for this kind of product. For the first interest, let's choose a hoodie, and also keep an eye on the size of the interest. It has to be in millions, otherwise the ad just won't be shown to a lot of people. So in this scenario, let's choose hoodie for our first interest, and the last aspect we want to change here is the placements, meaning where exactly will your ads be shown. Switch this to manual also, and the only placements we want to use are Facebook and Instagram newsfeed. All of the other placements are proven to just spend your money without any results, and these newsfeed placements are the ones to go with. And very lastly, on the ad set level, change the name of the ad set to the interest that you were targeting. This will help you be more organized and later on quickly show you what interest is performing well for you. Now let's move on to the ad creative, which is our last section here. When it comes to the ad creative, then go ahead and upload one of the creatives that you have done, and next we need to add some text onto it. And what you want to do now is again go to your competitors' ad creatives inside of Facebook ad library and see what text are they using and try to replicate their style of writing, but in your own language. Again, we do not want to reinvent the wheel. All we have to do is copy what's already working. Also, one key thing to keep in mind is you have to push people to your product page, not your homepage. This way they have one step less to do in order for them to convert, and you want to make the steps as easy as possible. So after playing around with the text a little, this is what our final ad creative looks like, and this is only one of them that we're going to use. Now what we want to do is we want to duplicate this ad creative 3 times, which will give us 3 more exactly the same ad creatives that we just created. Now all we have to do is open up each of them individually and change the ad creative inside. I recommend having 2 videos and 2 images. Once that is done, we have 4 different ad creative variations under one ad set. And lastly, we want to duplicate our ad set level 5 times, which will give us 6 exactly the same pre-made ad sets with all of our ad creatives we just created. All we have to do now is individually go inside of each and every ad set and change the interest inside of it, using the same interest targeting strategy we just talked about. I personally like to keep one ad set without any target at all, and one ad set with a random target. Netflix has worked for me really well. but all of the other 4 should be targeting an interest that's relevant to your product. So now we have 6 different ad sets targeting 6 different interests, each of the ad sets at €10 per day, which means your total daily ad spend will be at around €60. If that's out of your budget, you can change the ad set budget to €5 as well, but the reach will be a lot smaller that way. Once that is done, hit publish, and now all we have to do is wait for our ads to get approved and let them run for around 5 days without making any changes to them at all. Because your new pixel needs some time to optimize, and Facebook pixel will try to figure out who is the right audience to show the ads to. And really, once the 5 days have passed, this is the place where we can make any next logical moves. And really all we have to do now once 5 days have passed is double the budget on the ad sets that are performing well and close down the ones that are performing bad. Performing bad means no sales, performing good means that it has already like 2, 3, 4 sales. Also keep an eye on the CTR, this means click-through rate. If your click-through rate is anything under 1%, this means your ad creative is really bad and people really aren't engaging with it. And also one thing to keep in mind is when you kill an ad set that is not performing good, replace it with another one, but just add a new interest inside of the ad set. Now there are many ways of getting people onto your website, and the main one we just discussed about, Facebook ads, but I would also like to share some other methods that have worked really well for me. So usually what I do simultaneously when I start up my Facebook ads is I go to my Facebook page and I will go ahead and create a giveaway. Now in my opinion, running giveaways is really untapped method of getting free traffic onto your website. But since you create a giveaway on a fresh page, you won't get any views on the giveaway. So now what you have to do is with your personal account, go to different groups. For example, go to groups that sell products, go to groups that are just like chat groups, any kind of Facebook group that you can think of, and join all of these groups. So once you're approved to these groups, what you want to do next is you want to share the giveaway that you just created into these Facebook groups. This will create like a chain reaction where people have to like your page, they have to comment the post, and they have to share the post. And also inside of the giveaway, try to include a link to your product page. Very underrated method, please try it out. In my opinion, TikTok is also a very untapped method of organically marketing your product. So what you want to do now is you want to go to your competitors' TikTok pages, take inspiration from there, and try to recreate these videos. You can even go as far as download the videos that they have posted on their TikTok, go to some kind of an editing software, make some edits on the video, and post them over to your page. Okay, so now once we have orders rolling in, we need to find designers who can fulfill these orders. And there's really no need to worry about designers before you haven't even got any orders. And really the main platforms you want to use in terms of getting your designers are A, Fiverr, and B, Upwork. Both of these platforms are packed with very talented designers, but the thing here is you have to get them off the platform. You see, Fiverr and Upwork, they both are like a service provider, so each and every time you place an order to some kind of a designer, these platforms will take a fee. But you want to get these designers off of these platforms. Of course, these platforms have their own rules, and it's actually pretty hard to get these designers off of the platform, but I have worked out something. So what you want to do is you want to find the designer you'd like to work with and shoot them a message saying like, hey, we have a big company selling these line art designs, and I would like you to join our artist team. If that sounds interesting, send us a message to IG. Now the crucial part here is not to fully spell out Instagram, because that will get you banned. Just by using this exact template that I showed you will not get you in any trouble at all. And really the same thing applies with Upwork. And yeah, when you're choosing these designers, go ahead and look at their previous jobs, look at their reviews, how many orders have they got, and everything like that. And also one tip is that you can have these designers do a free test order for you. All you have to do is ask them, and pretty much all of them will be more than happy to provide you with a free test order. And let me briefly explain how you're going to pay them. So once you got them off the Fiverr or Upwork, bring them over to WhatsApp. WhatsApp is the application that I like to use when communicating with designers. If you have something else, you can use something else. But before they start working with you, you have to establish a price guide. And it's best if you always pay them per character, not per hour. And I will also give you a list of prices that I use with my designers in the description of this lesson. Okay, so now we have reached the fulfillment part where everything gets a little bit easier. There is an application called Trello which allows you to keep all of your orders super organized. Back in the days when I started, I used Gmail to forward the orders to my designers, but everything got really messy really quickly. So once you have created a Trello account, then it allows you to create different sections so you can keep everything organized. And I will quickly introduce to you my workflow. Firstly, I have this random folder over here where I have all of the backgrounds that my designers can use if they need it for a drawing. You can also add some documents like your price guide for designers and everything you think is relevant for the designers. Next we have orders in progress, and this is the folder where I upload new orders. Inside of this folder you can create a new section for each of your order So for example, this order has all of the necessary description and everything that the artist needs in order to complete the drawing. If you have multiple designers, you can choose which one of them you'd like to fulfill this specific order. And also you can set a deadline to the order. The artist will then get a notification that they have been assigned to complete an order for a specific time. Next folder is completed orders. So once the artist has finished the order, they will then just drag the order over to the completed orders, which means it's ready to be sent to the customer. You will then just open up the section, download your image and forward it to the customer. Now when it comes to sending the order to the customer, nothing is a guessing game. You have to have your Gmail templates ready. And inside of this lesson, under the description, I will leave you my own templates that you can use however you like. So once the order is sent to the customer, I simply drag it over to this section and first round is done. Now if a customer wants a revision on their order, which all of your artists should be more than happy to provide for free, then again open up the section and include the changes in the comments and drag it over to the revision section. Once the revision is complete, your designer will drag it over to revisions completed section, where you can again download it and forward to your customer. Okay, in this course we talked a lot about personalization and print on demand, but what I want to emphasize is don't be stuck at selling only personalized products. Yes, it's a great opportunity for some and the market is really untapped, but you can use the same strategy covered in this course with any kind of product. The process remains the same. Try to see what works in bigger countries, take the exact same product and bring it over to your home country. Trust me, I have tried this in my home country already, and it works brilliantly. Now yes, some of the countries are capped in terms of scaling because of the population, but then just take another product or another country and scale that way.